Today on UI7 Newsbreak, the Roger Ebert Festival has begun here in Champaign.
My mama just called me special.
Later, we experience a drag show at the Illini Union where participants embrace being true to themselves.
And in this week's See You Neighbor, we meet a Boston Marathon runner who is also a community role model.
Your UI7 Newsbreak starts right now.
From the Richmond Journalism Teaching Studio, this is your UI7 Newsbreak.
Good morning, I'm Addie Ippenson.
And I'm Peyton Wessner. Thank you very much for tuning in to today's edition of UI7 Newsbreak. The 2018 Roger Ebert Festival kicked off last night at the Virginia Theater. This is the festival's 20th anniversary of celebrating films that feel they haven't received the recognition they deserve. At the festival, these films and filmmakers are given a second chance to be recognized. Ebert Fest is organized by the University of Illinois College of Media in memory of journalism graduate Roger Ebert. The festival runs until Sunday and continues with a film showcase and panel discussions. Festival passes and individual tickets are still available, and student and senior discounts can be applied.
Another high-rise may be coming to Campus Town, and the popular Clybourne, Firehouse, and even Hometown Pantry may be in the way. The Champaign City Council voted in favor of the plan that could lead to the closing of the two popular bars. The plan expands the existing alleyway between the Clybourne and Firehouse, which is currently too narrow for garbage and emergency vehicles. However, talks have begun about a 17-story high-rise being built on the east side of 6th Street for both commercial and residential purposes.
The CU Men's Homeless Shelter recently closed their doors due to a lack of funding, which has put some members of Champaign-Urbana's homeless community in a bind. UI7's Newsbreak's Dixie Limbaccia saw firsthand how some are being affected.
Richard L. has been playing the guitar on and off for the past 10 years, but still says he loves to play. These days, it seems as though playing is what gets him through the day, as his home, the CU Men's Homeless Shelter, closes for the warmer months.
Sleeping on the ground is no fun. It's no fun at all.
The CU Men's Shelter has closed down due to lack of volunteers and funds. Richard L. mentions that when the shelters were open, they provided whole meals and packed lunches for the day.
Here at CU at Home, this center has been a safe haven for many individuals in the community during severe and harsh weather conditions. With just a staff of 5 people, this facility has been able to provide food, water, shelter, and even laundry for the individuals struggling during this time.
You know my old man? Gonna wanna fight.
Eliminated 90 shelter beds for men in the Champaign community, which was detrimental to us.
Richard L. says he's excited to receive his Social Security and birth certificate, but in the meantime, he's going to continue to play the guitar.
I'm not looking for a hand out. I'm looking for a hand up. You understand where I'm coming from? That's what I'm looking for. Right
in Urbana, I'm Dixie Limbaccia, UI7 Newsbreak.
One student ran for a cause close to his heart last weekend. UI7 Newsbreak's Andrea Flores reports on the veterans' experience on campus.
Everyone has a unique story before coming to college, and David Steinfels is no exception. He served 4 years in the Marine Corps, traveling around the world before coming to the University of Illinois. Like other student veterans, the junior in global studies faced challenges adjusting to campus life following his service.
I came from a very intensive environment where it was training and it was work that was all taken seriously, 100%, because even in training, the slightest mistake would mean people are getting injured or dying.
Forward, march, That's where the Center for Wounded Veterans in Higher Education comes in, to represent about 300 student veterans like Steinfels on campus who need help with any physical or mental health problems, classwork, and career services. One way the center supports student veterans is through their annual Memorial 5K.
In the last 6 years, the Illini Veterans Memorial 5K has raised $50,000, and by the end of today's race, they hope to have raised $60,000.
Illini Veterans Secretary and Navy veteran Matt Cutright knows firsthand that the center's support, made possible through 5K donations, is necessary for student veteran success.
It helped with transitioning because I had just gotten off deployment in August and then came here, so it was kind of like a quick turnaround. So it was nice to have people that knew what was going on.
As a transfer student, the center has made all the difference for Steinfels.
Coming from zero to this center, where they have like a staff of individuals more than willing and helping, and most of them are previous military anyways. So it's just great. I was so happy.
The 5K was more than competing or staying fit for Steinfels and other runners. Supporting student veterans is what brought the community together. In Urbana, I'm Andrea Flores, UI7 Newsbreak.
Most of the cold weather seems to be behind us as the sun looks to make a cameo this weekend. Grab your sunglasses because Friday will be sunny with a high of 59 degrees and a low of 37. On Saturday, the clouds are going to return, but the temperatures will remain virtually identical with a high of 57. Sunday looks to be cloudy with a high of 63 and a low of 42. It seems that spring is finally in full bloom, and we will be seeing warm weather in the coming weeks.
Coming up after the break,
we take a look at how the baseball team is doing after Dan Hartlib went for his 400th win.
We'll be right back.
What to expect when you're expecting a teenager.
Hey guys, today we're talking about how to wake up your teen, and this works literally every time.
Give kisses. Give kisses. Look. Give kisses. Give kisses. You heard how loud that was.
I know,
I heard that.
I heard. It wasn't you. Yeah. It was the...
Is that bacon?
You don't have to know it all to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Bacon.
Families come in all sizes and shapes. Sometimes your friends are your family by choice, or sometimes you're just stuck with Uncle Charles. But what we know is that you want to protect the people that are close to you, but the flu can unravel everything. Your flu vaccine protects you and your family. No matter what draws your family together, protect yourself, protect your family. Everyone needs a flu vaccine.
Good morning, Illini.
Hey, good morning, Illini, and you smell like Becky.
Good morning, Illini.
Fans of drag performance flocked to the Illini Union Board's annual drag show, not only to have a good time, but also to celebrate individuality and the art of being yourself. UI7 Newsbreak's Andrea Flores covered the impact this event had on one individual in particular.
Thanks, Addie. I had the chance to meet some really amazing characters on this shoot. Let's take a look at the glitz and glam of this year's drag show.
Of course, glamour. The Illini Union's annual drag show had the crowd roaring. This high-energy event drew an audience of nearly 700 people. One audience member came out to support her nephew, who performed not as Kenneth, but as Miss Kalasia Carmel.
And the legacy has been passed on to Kalasia, to Kenneth Johnson. And it's just so amazing to see him do everything that he's doing. He has a clothing line, Stone for Filth in Vegas, and he's a celebrity hairstylist. And it's just amazing just to be here to support him again.
Events like these have always been around, gaining popularity during the dance hall movements of the 70s and 80s. However, the recent rise in popularity to the public eye has skyrocketed since the success of modern TV shows like RuPaul's Drag Race.
They called me weird, punk, sissy, but my mama just called me special.
Those who performed here tonight emphasize that behind the rhinestones and the glitter, events like these are really about celebrating uniqueness and the art of loving yourself just the way you are.
Maybe you can go.
Kalasia bared it all when she showed her vulnerability by removing her wig, costume, and makeup right on the stage.
Like, you're not going to be good enough for everybody, but you're good enough for somebody. And the first person you should be good enough for is yourself. So I'm working on loving myself and what I see in the mirror and hopefully reflecting that out to everybody else and getting that back in return.
And her family will continue to support both Kenneth and Kalasia.
And Kenneth Kalasia is carrying on a legacy that is just prominent and just beautiful. And it's such a great honor to be here today with his mother, you know, and us to celebrate today.
For UI7 News in Urbana, I'm Leah President.
After getting the serious sweep against Big Ten foe Rutgers this weekend, veteran coach Dan Hartlib won his 400th career game after 13 seasons with the Fighting Illini. UI7 Newsbreak's Roger Blanco reports on what the accomplishment personally meant to him and what this year's team has that last year's lacked.
Fighting Illini are coached by Dan Hartlib.
Dan Hartlib has been part of the Illini coaching staff for 28 years. He was named head coach 13 seasons ago and hasn't looked back ever since. Hartlib currently ranks among the winningest coaches in school history with 400 wins. Hartlib says it's been an honor to coach the team, but credits others for his success.
You know, it's one of those situations where, you know, I get credit for the wins and losses, but you look at it, the players have to go out and do a good job, and they have to work hard.
Under Hartlib, Illinois has had a successful run over the years. The Fighting Illini have won close to 62% of its games over the last 4 years.
The Fighting Illini went 23-28 last year. Well, this year it's been a different story. They have matched their win total from last season in just 32 games.
With their strong start comes with the right attitude the coaches lay down on their players. Junior outfielder Doran Turchin prides Hartlib and the rest of the coaching staff for their efforts to push them to become better people.
I've learned a lot from him, actually. I mean, he definitely made me a better person, which is the main thing. I mean, his big thing is he wants to make us better people overall and make sure we do well in school and things like that.
The difference between last year and this year's team is summed up into one word: experience.
Well, we're more experienced, and you know, we've got some guys that have worked to become better players, and we've just you know, matured overall as a team.
Experience is what made the 2015 club click and what drove them to an NCAA Super Regional appearance. Hartlib and the rest of the Illini hope to win the school's first national championship. From Champaign, I'm Roger Blanco, UI7 Newsbreak.
One local man headed east on Monday to compete in his third and final Boston Marathon. We take a look at this runner's noble cause and his preparation.
During the day, Carl Larson can be found at J.W. Ader Middle School in Rantoul, where he works as a teacher's aide. But after work and on the weekends, he can be found doing something that requires a little more stamina: training for marathons. Larson has been running off and on for his whole life, but within the last 10 years started running more competitively. Larson said running quickly went from just a hobby to a lifestyle and a way to stay fit.
10 years ago, I wasn't really feeling really good about myself. When I was about 65 pounds heavier. And just to say, you know, it's time to do something.
On Monday, Larson headed east to run in one of the country's most competitive races, the Boston Marathon. For his third and final run, Larson was surprised with a special send-off from some special people. Mr. Larson is not only supported by the students, but also the staff, saying he's been an influential role in many of the students' lives.
Mr. Larson is one of probably the best supports that we have for our students. He's a great male role model that's been very influential, especially with our athletes.
Larson aimed to impact even more people by running Monday's race for Zero Prostate, a charity organization that hits very close to home for him.
Last year I was diagnosed with prostate cancer. So I had my therapy done almost a year ago. And it's really making me mentally stronger and getting through the treatments.
On Monday, Larson braved through the rainy and cold conditions in Boston and finished with a personal record of just under 4 hours. This record time brings a successful end to an impactful career.
I'll miss you too, buddy.
In Rantoul, I'm Addie Ippinson, UI7 Newsbreak.
Paige and I really love being able to cover this story. Mr. Larson's a really great guy, both obviously in the classroom, but then also a successful runner. I was talking to him yesterday, and he said the conditions, I mean, you saw those photos, were just crazy. He said it was like running through a car wash, which is insane. I can barely run a mile on a treadmill, let alone do that. So
well, it's
kudos
crazy
to him.
Because I know the Boston Red Sox game on the same day was postponed. So
yeah,
to still have to run the marathon, That's a feat in its own right.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, awesome. Also, coming up, we have a lot of really good baseball games coming up. Do you know anything about that?
Yeah, Bryn Spillane has continued to play very well. He's putting a case together to be perhaps Big Ten Player of the Year, maybe National Player of the Year. I know D1Baseball.com named him Midseason Player of the Year. So he has built a case. If he continues to sustain, I have no doubt he'll be a high draft pick. He was drafted 35th coming out of high school by the Pittsburgh Pirates, 35th round. So
that's awesome.
The sky's the limit for him.
So that's great.
For more of our stories, please follow us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube page.
That's all for this edition of UI7 Newsbreak.
Thank you very much for watching and have a fantastic day, Illini.